G'day, Bomber fans. Well, the 2025 draft campaign is really starting to heat up. Oh, it's already heated up. And luckily enough for the Bombers, we've got a couple of high-profile AFL hopefuls linked to the club through our gradually more and more successful Next Generation Academy. Today, I'm going to go through those guys, tell you how they're doing, but I'm also going to highlight a few others for the future as well. Koby Bewick is one everyone loves to be reminded about. There's a guy next year I like as well. So today, while we've got nothing to do during this boring bye week, we are going to look at the club-linked players. And at the very end as well, I will also quickly go through the open pool and highlight a few options that we may look at with our early picks. So let's get into it. Starting with this year's draft, Hussien El Achkar. So last year we get Isaac Kako. This year we've got first access to another high-profile small forward. Hussien has been on whiteboards for a while now. He started last year when he came into that Calder Cannons side as a bottom ager and bagged goals for fun. He kicked 19 goals in 15 games, plenty of behinds as well. And this year it's a similar output, albeit from less exposure. He has battled a tiny little ankle setback for a few weeks there. That ankle concern, by the way, I was told that it was more precautionary, I think, than anything. And if there was important games coming up, he may not have been sidelined for them. It was more because Champs was on the horizon. They needed him fresh for that. He also played some VFL footy. So yeah, his form across the three different levels that he's played at this year, disregarding school footy, which there aren't really stats for, but in the Talent League he's played 4 games, kicked 11 goals and 9 behinds. VFL he made his debut and kicked a little bag of 3 for the Bombers. That was really promising. And at Champs he's only played the 1 game. The ball was barely down Vic Metro's end, and he was also, funnily enough, rolling through the midfield more than he usually does at Talent League level, so that was interesting. And I think it tells you a lot about Huss. So for me, right, he is a pure small forward in the Isaac Rankin mould, not comparing them based on quality or anything like that. I'm just saying that they play in similar ways. Hussien is incredibly crafty inside 50. He finds so much dangerous grass to be around. He never really goes a game without providing at least 1 or 2 scoreboard moments. Sometimes goals, sometimes points. He's not yet clinical, but that is a really good problem to have when you're this young. You know, it's the chances you get that are more important. So I don't mind that he misses a few of them or most of them. But yeah, he's got speed, he's got agility. He is quite small, 171 centimeters, but that means he's got a great center of gravity. He is really tough to tackle. I think he is probably one big Champs game away from being talked about more as a first rounder. And the way I see it, he is currently on the edge of that first round in the draft. I did a power ranking for my other channel, AFL 101. Go subscribe there if you want a more draft-focused pool of content. And I put Hussien in the mid to late 20s, which would, it would be perfect for Essendon. We don't want any more early picks threatened by bids. And I think it's unlikely that a club bids on Hussien in that first early stage of that first round. But yeah, he's arguably the best small forward in this draft. I say arguably, I don't personally think he is, or I think it's close, but there are many who think he is. And I think after, quite a long time of us not having any real X-Factor smalls after Waller and Fantasia split up, it is good to know that our academy is providing us with Kako and now Hussien, 2 players that I can see being real weapons on ground level for us in future years. So yeah, big fan of this guy and the way he goes about it. I'm really keen to see what more he can do at Champs in the next few weeks. And over to his partner in crime, Adam Sweid. So these two they're both eligible for this year's draft. They're in our academy, so we've got first dibs. They're really close mates. They both come from Lebanese background, which is why they fit in our academy. Both play heaps of footy together. Both train at the club fairly regularly. So this is continuing the culture of, I guess, friendship that we've got at the club. You've got Kako and Caddy and Johnson. You've got Hussien, who played with Kako last year. Sweid didn't. And just on that, so he was out with an ACL injury for all of last year. What people don't actually really know from the looks of things is that it was even longer. So he actually did his ACL in July of 2023. So we're coming up to the 2-year anniversary of his ACL injury. And that means that he hasn't really played competitive footy for, a year and a half until this season. While he's growing as a kid, he would have been, 14 or 15 when he did it. And funnily enough, or not 14 or 15, sorry, 15 or 16. And funnily enough, he comes into the side and starts dominating for the Calder Cannons. His first game, he has 25 touches and kicks 2 goals. The next week, it's 26 and 1 goal, 30 the week after. He started the year in serious form and hasn't really quietened down at Talent League level. He was again really good in our most recent game against the Western Jets, 23 touches, a goal and 4 tackles. There is a lot to like about this kid. I like the fact that he came back from that knee rehab, lengthy knee rehab, and looks better now after it. That is a tough road to recovery for anyone, but especially a 16-year-old when he did it. But he navigated it really well. As a player, he's more of a midfielder. He's got forward capabilities, but he plays midfield. Rick Edwards compared him to Dion Prestia, which is a great comparison. We're running with it. With that, lateral movement and footy smarts. He gets around the ground really well. He uses the footy nicely. Like Huss, he is great hard to tackle. He is smaller, 175 centimetres, and that is probably the main drawback for me. So I've got him around the 37 or 38 mark on my personal power rankings. Others have him higher. I've seen some rate him ahead of Huss. I don't disagree with that. I just see it differently to everyone else, I guess. But I think the main question with Sweid will be his height and his size at higher levels. So he's already played champs and VFL footy. He wasn't as prolific in those two games as he is in the Talent League. So he's one to watch in the next few weeks to see if he can really start to have a real impact at a higher level. But no, there are lots of things to like about him. He really does impress whenever you watch him live. He is an awesome talent. Moving on to next year's draft crop, there is less real, clear top-end talent for the Bombers in 2026. But there are still a couple of options that we could think about bringing into the club if they continue to develop. The main one for me that we're going to talk about is Blake Justice. So if you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I like the way this kid goes about it. He is a taller wing option, although lately he has been running through the guts for the Cannons, which is fun. He's kind of a lanky, taller running type. He looks very lackadaisical sometimes. When players just they glide around and they don't look lazy, but I guess the way to describe Justice is that he is deceptively hard-working. He works a lot harder than it looks just because of those long glides and everything, but he does give it a crack and he puts his body on the line. He's a tough kid. He's shown plenty to like this year, and he's had some really important games as a bottom major. Hit the scoreboard a lot. He's gotten around the ground well, used those 190 centimetres in the air against smaller opponents. I don't think this guy is like a first-round contender like Huss or Sweid. I think, though, if he can keep performing well and really hone in on his craft and improve over the off-season heading into his draft year, if he has a big pre-season, that'll be massive for him because there is talent there. There is good attitude. There is good athleticism. A great name. BT would love it. Blake Justice. It's just about how he can continue to improve on his game because, there's a player in there if he really gets to work. And from the sounds of things, it seems like those around him or in the scene do have high hopes for him or have lots of praise for him. Again, not a pick one contender or anything crazy like that, but I really wouldn't be surprised if next year we are talking about another draftable NGA player. I think this guy has some upside to him, and in the last few weeks has shown some positional versatility that was not forced upon him, but given to him by the Calder Cannons. So really good developing player. Now, a few others for next year that'll be looking to push for a list spot that I won't go into detail with. Jad Naeem, he was recently named amongst the best in the loss against the Western Jets. He tough defender or midfielder defender, tough to say. Olu Olalekin is a defender. He's a big, strong brute of a player. And Cohen McGrath, I think he's also in the defensive half as well. They're all in our academy. They've done some nice things in their respective roles, but I do need to see a bit more of them before I, really go into detail. And 2027, keep in mind, this is the year that Tasmania are supposed to enter list management areas and be involved in the draft. I say supposed to because we don't know what's happening there. It is a good time to have freebies, and luckily there are two that the Bombers could have. One that we, probably will have, I'll say, and the other I'll talk about in a bit, but we'll start with Koby Bewick. So there is a lot of hype around this kid. And for good reason. He looks like he could be one of the real stars of his draft class. Again, it is 2 years before the draft, so you have to take all of this with a grain of salt. So much could happen in the next 2 years. He may, go to another country and pursue architecture. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though. Anything could happen in the next 2 years. So, just because he's a star of the 2027 draft class now, it doesn't mean he will be in 2 years. So, cut him a bit of slack. If I had to pick one now for that year, he might not be it, but he would be in the conversation, I think. And he's just a really enjoyable player to watch. He takes the game on, moves around the ground so well with ball in hand, and I'm going to get roasted if any Collingwood fans come in here. So let me say, I'm obviously not expecting him to be this good, but there is a comparison in the way he plays and looks while he plays to Nick Dacos. I get it, you know, it's just that kind of blend of explosiveness and composure that Dacos has. It's not really one or the other. Real footy smarts as well. Yeah, he obviously made a 16-year-old Talent League debut, which is great. He was amongst our best, albeit against a pretty poor opposition. In that game, he was everywhere. They were actually trying to rest him off halfback at times, but apparently he would just roam around and find the footy at will. He also starred for Vic Metro in the Under-16 Carnival opener, and there's more to come with that campaign as well. He will probably be one of the better players by the end of it. For Strathmore, he's killing it. He actually had back-to-back weeks where he kicked 10 goals, so 20 goals in 2 weeks. Yeah. Real player to look out for here. Obviously, again, so long to go in his journey. Anything could happen in the next 2 years. But at this stage, he is looking like an incredibly exciting prospect for the future. So, real big bonus for us if he continues to develop the way he is. Oh, and of course, I should have said he is the son of Darren Bewick. So, he fits into our setup through the father-son rules. And that, by the way, is good because it makes it, you know, less likely for any rule changes to have a big impact on us getting him. Because if anything was to change, it would probably be the academy. But yeah, expect to see more out of Koby Bewick for the Calder Cannons this year as well. So I think the plan is to give him more games at under 18 level in the Talent League after Champs and everything wraps up. So this won't be the last time we talk about Bewick this year. And the other one for 2027 is Tevita Rodan. This is an interesting one because it's not even really about the player's quality this early on. It is about the decision he has to make. Because in an alternate universe, if I am running a Port Adelaide YouTube channel called Everything Port or Everything Power, I would be talking about Tevita in this video because he is not only a part of Essendon's Next Generation Academy, he is also the son of David Rodan, which means he fits into Port's plans as a father-son. So, Tevita in the next 2 years has a decision to make. He, luckily he's got time, but he'll be, you know, spending time with both clubs, seeing what the best fit is for him, talking to his old man. Yeah, it's interesting when you've got a player who has to choose between 2 different clubs, because that is what is going to happen with Tevita. It's happening with Cooper Hodge as well. He's another interesting one. And a fun little similarity there is that Cooper Hodge, obviously the son of Luke Hodge, he's in Brisbane's academy. I don't even know how. But it is seen at this stage that he's more likely to choose Brisbane because that is where he is located. And the fun thing with Tevita is that he is based in Victoria, and Essendon are based in Victoria. So if he was to choose Port Adelaide, he would have to pack up his things and leave to a really boring state. And that might sound rude. I'm from Adelaide, so I can say it. But yeah, it's interesting. He's got time to think it through, obviously. It'll depend on how the teams are going and everything. Tevita as a player is another enjoyable one to watch. He is hard at it. I remember going to see him at Dandenong a few weeks ago, and he just clattered into some bigger bodies than him. You know, he wasn't amazing or anything, but he just had a crack. And I think with time, with 2 more pre-seasons until his draft, there's probably going to be another decent player there. Yeah, and also, while I'm on Tevita, I should mention another academy player for 2027, Mustafa Darwish. He is a mid-sized midfielder, early 2009 birthday, so he classifies for the 2027 draft by a few weeks. He is currently in the Vic Metro Under-16 squad for the Carnival and will be playing a bit of footy there, I think. I'm not sure if he's in the plans for an Under-18s debut. Not sure what the go is there, but I do believe Tevita Rodan will play more Calder Cannons footy this year along with Koby Bewick. So I think we'll be talking about them again before the year ends. And before I love you and leave you, here is my top 20 power rankings for 2025. This is going to change. I just want to highlight some players I like at the moment. And if you want to hear more about every player, go check out my AFL 101 draft power ranking video I did. I rated the 40 best players. So, yeah, anyone with an asterisk, by the way, on screen is tied to another club. So we won't have access to them. At the very top, I'm going to assume that we don't have access to, you know, Cooper Duff-Tytler either. I would assume that he's gone before our first pick. Some other guys I like, though, Josh Lindsay. So, actually, if I had to pick one player to draft to Essendon, just, you know, from anyone here, it would probably be Josh Lindsay. He is a lovely kick of the footy. Just a slicing, you know, left footer. He would be great off the back half to start and then gradually moving into the midfield. So he is someone I've got my eyes on. Willem Dersma, the brother of Xavier. He's right up there too. You've got a lot of good key forwards. You've got Mitch Marsh. You've got Archie Ludowick, Aidan Schubert, Louis Emmett, and Cam Nan. You've got a good batch of midfielders. You've got Ollie Greaves is a bit lower down, but he's a big-bodied midfielder that we haven't had for a while. Dyson Sharp's a great accumulator. Sam Grill is really explosive. Harley Barker is one that I want to talk about because I don't think he's getting enough attention. He is a taller wingman, really great mover, and just a great footballer. So he is one that I really like. I rate him really highly. Look, if we compare the 20 here to last year's 20, it is pretty clear that last year's is better, or it looks better, but having multiple picks inside this draft is not a bad thing. Like, there is talent here. There are players that fit the club's direction. You know, Josh Lindsay, Harley Barker, Ollie Greaves, Sam Grill, even throw in Xavier Taylor, who's the best key defender in the draft, I think. Or we can package the picks and try and get a big fish in the trade period. So there are options, as I've said all year. But that is that. That is a cheeky draft update for you guys. If you want more draft-specific content, go follow my second account, AFL 101. But for now, like, subscribe, and go Bombers.